Yep.
All right, let's call this
No
Memphis
comments.
zoning board meeting to order. Let's pledge allegiance to the flag.
Of the United
Of the United
States.
States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you everyone for being here. This is just preliminary, as we spoke. I guess we'll go kind of free-form, we'll be hard, because.
I don't know, Ken called this meeting, so.
Yeah, I knew there was gonna be some new faces. I'm new to the ZBA, so obviously I've never,
Is this all of us? I don't know.
I believe this is all of us, yeah.
Scott, would you mind secretarial duties, just we'll take roll call, see who's here presently.
Do we have a complete list of all of our members?
I know.
No, this was informal.
No worries.
Okay, our president is Patrick Henley, Kevin Mazur, forget Joe Goyne. Joe Goyne, yeah, Ken,
Yep, Ken Dunbar.
and Dunbar. We got Hod Powers, Scott Brewster, and we have Barb Garber.
Yeah, and I'm the planning commission rep to the ZBA.
Yeah, I'm the city council representative. Okay. So yeah, I, as being new, I thought it would be a good idea for all of us to just talk about variances that we've, not variances specifically that we've had in the past, but our operations that we've proceeded with in the past. I watched a couple ZBA meetings in advance of this, just of other municipalities. Wasn't sure, what exactly our typical procedure was, but it looks like they would open the meeting. They would have a quick explanation of their procedure, just how they were going to handle the meeting. The person presenting what would be their request for a variance would give a little presentation, and at which point then, after that, the citizens had opportunity to comment on any sort of variance. And then if we so choose, we would be able to engage with the citizenry if we had follow-up questions, but I just wasn't sure if that was typical of a meeting in our past, or if we do stuff different.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there'd be an agenda.
Yep.
And there's citizen
Citizens
comments.
concern, yeah.
And I've only been to a couple meetings, but sometimes our city attorney might be there.
Okay.
Sometimes, I'm not sure if that's standard, I don't know,
Okay.
but
If we wanted the attorney present, is that something we'd have to initiate? We'd have to invite them typically?
I don't know, I have no
We
idea.
could talk to Donna.
Okay.
Protocol.
Yeah,
We are new,
right.
zoning board is new, we're solid, and we do listen. And we do have a charter that dictates the parameters in which we operate. Also, variances are taken on individual basis, depending on what needs to be accomplished or not. So the citizen input is very important to us. That's what we function for. Glad to see that.
And then, there in the packet, there was a variances cheat sheet from the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. I found that relatively helpful for me, having not ever had to deal with variances. I wasn't sure if members who are more familiar with the variance process thought that was a pretty accurate and helpful tool to them as well. I don't necessarily want to base all of my knowledge off of this
Right.
sheet, but if anyone had anything that they
Right.
thought should be added
Right.
to that information, I'd love to hear it. But.
I was discussing if there's any practical difficulties for non-use variances and provided in this section unnecessary hardships for use variances as provided in subdivision 9, which we have to refresh on, in a way of carrying out the strict letter of the zoning ordinance. The zoning board of appeals may grant a variance in accordance with this section so that the spirit of the zoning ordinance is observed, public safety secured, and substantial justice done. The ordinance shall establish procedures for the review and the standards for approval of all types of variances. The zoning board of appeals may impose conditions and otherwise allow under this act. The authority to grant variances for uses of land is limited to the following: cities and villages, Memphis, township and counties as of February 15, 2006. Had an ordinance that used the phrase use variance or variances from use of land to expressly authorize the granting of these variances by the zoning board of appeals. Townships and counties that granted this use variance before February 15, 2006. Grandfathered, I guess they call it. The authority granted under the subsection 9 is subject to zoning ordinances of the local unit of government, otherwise being in compliance with subsection 7 and having an ordinance provision that requires a vote of 2/3 of the members of the zoning board of appeals to approve use variance. The authority to grant use variances under subsection 9 is permissive, and the section does not require a local unit of government to adopt ordinances provisions to allow for the granting of use variances.
Okay. So we would be looking at practical difficulties and undue hardship, or unnecessary hardships when granting the variance. There's the section in our code specifically that specifically refers to the procedure of our zoning board. I think between this and refreshing ourselves with that, I feel like we should have a pretty good idea of how to handle things when they arise.
Yes.
Is there anything else anyone can think of that it would be something we should familiarize ourselves with?
So Scott, you're the secretary, right, for the zoning board? Is that-
I wasn't, Pat just asked me to take.
I just asked if you do it now, we need to vote
Well,
as secretary.
okay, well, there should be a designated secretary.
I thought there was a previous meeting.
Typically, I think the leadership positions would be voted on yearly. We can put that on the agenda for the next official ZBA meeting, and it would just be,
Yeah.
I think there's only 2 positions, right, chairperson and secretary.
Yes.
We could vote on both of those at the next.
We had an issue at one time in the past that didn't work out too well, so there should be a designated secretary then if we have another meeting.
Okay.
Maybe we can look at some previous meeting minutes to see if there's anything that's been,
Mhm.
we'll see.
Barbara, you had documented a lot of well, you do anyways, but you're not, since you're on the planning, you can't be voted in? Or do we have to, I need to be refreshed on that, because you did, I relied on a lot of your notes too.
I jumped in a pinch.
You did.
One time.
Thank
but-
you.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I don't think I should be the secretary because I'm not even on the zoning board. I'm
There you
just the
go.
rep.
Then we have to.
Plan.
You do get to vote though and everything, right?
I get a vote.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, so we'll put elect chairperson/secretary. We should also have a yearly meeting regardless of agenda items, just to, at the very least, refresh ourselves with procedure.
That's a good idea.
And every year we can elect reconfirm the chairperson, elect a secretary. I would say probably since our fiscal year ends in June and our first meeting is in July, maybe just every July have a
Every July,
every July just have our yearly.
Because there's periods of time that go by where there aren't any
There's
issues.
no
Right.
call, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to have a motion to have that meeting early in July.
Okay.
Someone would second that?
I mean, we can pick a day right now.
Okay.
Is there a day that's typical for the ZBA meetings? I don't know if our code says something about that.
They're usually aren't they on Wednesday? The ZBA
Well, Wednesday's a good day.
I think since I've been a part of it, it's been
Do you
whenever it was
remember?
necessary. I don't think there was a specific
Oh, it
date.
doesn't have to be, I don't know.
Right. Well, let's have a tentative date. I know I'll be gone for the second half of July, is what I'm,
Want to shoot for the 9th, Wednesday the 9th, second week in July?
Jim, I second that. Can you second that?
Okay, I'm good with that as well.
Right, then it's passed, the 9th of July.
That's the day for the normal planning commission meeting.
It is the day for the normal planning commission.
Yes, it is.
Second Wednesday of the month?
Yeah.
It's not the post office vote.
Maybe just the following day?
Tuesday.
Thursday the 10th or Tuesday the 8th?
Do
Thursday
we
the
really
10th?
need to have
Thursday.
one this year?
Actually,
Being that we're doing this in the end of May, do we really need to do one in July when we're doing this now in the end of May?
I think that was to pick for
To
secretary
elect
chair.
officials, get the preliminaries out of the
Oh.
way.
just to do the yearly
Yeah.
maintenance and stuff.
Okay.
We can do, I mean, we
That's
can,
fine.
Can we back up
That's
one week
fine.
earlier?
When is it, July
Or-
9th?
Well,
Week prior, just before the 4th.
let's do the Thursday the 10th?
I'm with that.
I cannot be here on the 10th.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed that.
I'd be late if I did.
So what are we doing here?
Just picking a date where we can go through and have our.
July
elections.
2nd would be the first Wednesday, because July 9th would be planning commission, second Wednesday.
The second is that.
How about Tuesday the 8th? Does that work for you, Pat?
That's better. Beginnings, that's 4th of July holiday weekend, you know.
Yeah, that whole first week.
Yeah.
July 8th, Tuesday the 8th. Okay,
7 o'clock.
yeah, 7 p.m. Alright, so familiarizing ourselves with this cheat sheet, our procedure laid out in our code of ordinances, nothing else we think we need to familiarize ourselves with?
Not that I can think of.
No.
I think we'll talk through them now and see if we can get these, the sections that we're reading off the 9th and 7th here, so we can physically look at them.
Okay.
And,
What day and date did you say that you're really gonna have one?
Uh,
That's any of my business, but I was trying to follow your
No worries.
procedures.
Tuesday, July 8th at 7 p.m.
Sounds good.
And that'll be a meeting similar to this one, just to go over procedure, elect officers and stuff like that. So section 9 and section 8,
Subsection 9 and 7.
or 9 and 7. So those are referring to the Michigan Zoning Enablement Act,
Yes.
so.
We have a solid base
Yep.
for what would be.
Okay. I'm satisfied if everyone else is.
Yeah. Does anyone else have any questions? I think no questions then. I guess we can bring it over and close.
Yep.
It was quick, folks. Okay, we bring to close the zoning board meeting preliminary on today's date. No questions, we will be done.
Okay, meeting adjourned at 7:14.